Hi, it's John Voot and today's lesson is on Float On by Modest Mouse from the Trinity College London Grade 1 Drums Rock and Pop syllabus. So Modest Mouse are a band from Washington in Seattle in America, and this song was nominated for a Grammy Award for Best Rock Song in 2005, and it's from the band's album Good News for People Who Like Bad News. So looking at the sheet music, we've got 2 pages for this piece, and if you look at the top left of the first page, we've got technical focus written there, as this is one of the technical focus pieces from the exam, and we'll go through those technical focus points as we go through the piece. And then beneath that you've got Float On, which is the song title, and then underneath that you've got verse there written in a box, just letting you know the first section of the song we're going to be playing is the verse. And then you've got some information on the song, so you've got the style, which is indie rock, and then you've got the tempo, so it says a crotchet or a quarter note equals 95. So the tempo of this song is 95 beats per minute, and a beat is a crotchet or a quarter note. And then we've got 2 bars counting written in brackets there, just letting you know when you play this with a backing track, you'll be given a 2 bars of counting. So you'll be given 2 bars of counting to count you into the song, alright? Because obviously we need to know what the tempo is before we start playing, and that's what the counting does, okay? So the counting is going to count you in for 2 bars. So you're going to hear a bar of minims, 1, 2, and then crotches, 1, 2, 3, 4. And that's going to set the tempo for you, okay? So you can feel the tempo. So when you come in after that counting, you start playing at the right tempo. Okay, and then beneath that you've got your first bar of music. So you've got the percussion clef there, written in the first bar on the stave, just letting you know that it's percussion music, so it's drum notation on the stave. And then you've got your time signature. So you've got 4/4 there, so the top number being 4 tells you there's 4 beats in the bar, and the bottom number being 4 tells you each beat is a crotchet or a quarter note. Okay, and then we've got our first set of notes. So we've got a groove in the first bar, we've got 2 rhythms for the groove, we've got the top rhythm on the hi-hat, which is just quavers or 1/8 notes, so we're going to be counting that 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and the rhythm beneath is crotchets or quarter notes, and the first one's going to be on the bass drum, the second one's on the bass drum and the snare drum, the third one's on the bass drum, and the fourth one's on the bass drum and the snare drum. Okay, so this is what we call a 4 on the floor groove, and that's because we got bass drums playing on all 4 downbeats. Okay, so if you just keep quarter note time or crotchet time with a bass drum in a groove, we normally call that 4 on the floor, and the backbeat on the snare is just playing the normal 2 and the 4. Okay, so this is a 4 on the floor groove. We're going to try it in time with the metronome, and if you look beneath the bar you've also got the dynamic we need to play this groove in, and there's an F there which is short for forte, which means loud. Okay, so we need to play this groove loud, and we're going to try it, like I said, 4 times through with a metronome just to get used to playing this groove and getting used to hitting that 4 on the floor. So 4 on the bass drum. Alright, all 4 beats on the bass drum. Let's try that now in time with the metronome at the song tempo, which is 95 beats per minute. Okay, then looking at the second bar of the music, we've got a 1 bar repeat symbol there, so that means repeat the previous bar, which is that same 4 on the floor groove we just played. So we play it again, and in the third bar we've got another 1 bar repeat there, so you play the groove again. So you play it for a third bar, and then we come into the 4th bar. So the 4th bar, similar groove, but we've got a slight change up. Now what we're going to do first of all is we're going to bring in one of the extra snares that they've got in this groove. Okay, so there's 2 extra snares in there. There's one on the end of 3 and there's one on the end of 4. Okay, so we're going to, first of all, we're going to play the one on the end of 3. So we're going to play the snare on 2, the and of 3 and the 4. Okay, and we're going to keep that 4 on the floor on the bass drum. Quavers or 1/8 notes on the hi-hat. Okay, so let's try that first of all, just getting used to hitting that and of 3 on the snare, as well as the snares on the 2 and the 4. So let's try that 4 times through, just getting used to hitting the extra snare to hear that double snare hit. And now we're bringing the other snare drum in that groove, which is on the and of 4. Okay, so you've got the backbeat on 4, you've got the and of 3 that comes in just before it, and now we're going to add in the and of 4. So we're going to play the snare drum just after the normal backbeat as well. So the snare normally goes on the 2 and the 4, so we're bringing in the and of 3 before the backbeat on 4, and also the and of 4, which is after the backbeat on 4. So you get these 3 snares in a row, so it's like a triple snare hit. So you get your 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So both hands play together for 3 notes, the last 3 notes of the bar. Alright, and remember you're keeping that 4 on the floor on the bass drum, so you're hitting all 4 downbeats on the bass drum. Just keep that 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so let's try that groove now. That 4th bar on the top line, 4 times through, just to get used to hitting those 4 snare drums in the bar. So now we can play those 2 grooves. We'll try the whole of line 1. So we've got our 4 on the floor groove, so our main groove where we're playing the backbeat on 2 and 4. We play that for 3 bars as we've got 2 1-bar repeats, and then we've got our change up on the 4th bar where we're playing that triple snare hit on the and of 3, the 4 and the and of 4. Alright, and you've still got that backbeat on 2 as well. So let's try the whole of line 1 in time with the metronome. So coming into line 2, so you can see in the first bar of line 2, you've got the same 4 on the floor groove that we had in the first bar of line 1. Okay, so we've got that same groove, and again we've got 2 1-bar repeats there, so we're playing the groove for 3 bars. So the same as what we did in line 1, and then we've got a 4th bar change up again on this line, so we've got half a bar of the 4 on the floor groove, but now we're just playing the 1 and 2 and, with the bass drum on the 1 and 2 and the snare drum on the 2. And then we've got a 2-beat fill. So you can see the bass drum has got a minim rest there, letting you know there's no bass drum for the 3 and 4. So the snare drum is playing 3 and 4 and. Okay, so you've got 2 16ths and an 8th, so 3 and, you've got to play that right, left, right, and then you've got 2 8th notes, which are 4 and, so we're going to play that right, left. So you've got right, left, right, right, left. 3 and 4 and, that's the rhythm, okay? So remember, 16th notes are the same as semiquavers and 8th notes are the same as quavers. So you've got 2 semiquavers and a quaver there, 3 and then 2 quavers for the 4 and. Okay, so we're going to try this bar 4 times through, and what you need to get used to is obviously that bass drum's been playing all 4 downbeats, alright? And now it needs to come off to play this snare drum fill. So you've got half a bar of the groove where you're keeping time on the bass drum for 1 and 2, 1 and 2 and then you stop the bass drum to play the 3 and 4 on the snare drum. Okay, so let's just try that bar 4 times through the metronome to get used to playing half a bar with the bass drum, half a bar without. So now we'll try the whole of line 2. So you've got 3 bars of your 4 on the floor groove with your backbeat on 2 and 4. And then you've got that change up where we're playing half a bar of the groove and then a 2-beat fill on the snare drum. So let's try the whole of line 2. And at the end of line 2, you can see that double bar line there letting you know that's the end of a musical section. So the music's going to be changing as we go on. And that is the end of the verse, all right? So our verse is 2 lines. So we played the top line and the second line individually. So now we're going to put them together to play the whole verse. So let's try it lines 1 and 2 in time with the metronome. So you've got that main 4 on the floor groove, and then you've got 2 4th bar change ups there on each line, all right? So you've got your triple snare hit on the first line, and you've got your 2-beat fill on the second line. So let's try both lines together now. So now we come into line 3. So we got chorus written there, letting us know it's a new musical section of the song. So now we're into the chorus. We've got a 2-bar groove here, so we're going to look at the first bar of this 2-bar groove first of all, so bar 9, and we can see on the hi-hat now we've got a new rhythm, so we've got semi-quavers or 16th notes. Alright, so we've got that on the hi-hat. We're going to play that with 2 hands, so we're going to alternate between right and left. So we're going to start with the right hand and play single strokes on the hi-hat. So we've got right left for each beat. So you've got 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4E and alternating on the hi-hat there. Then underneath that, you've got your 4 on the floor again. So we've just got our bass drum keeping all 4 beats. All right, so we're just going to hit the 1, 2, 3, and the 4 on the bass drum, whilst keeping those semi-quavers on the hi-hat. All right. So we'll try just that bar 4 times through with the metronome. And then in the second bar of the chorus, you've got semi-quavers again on the hi-hat for the 1 and the 2. So you got 1E and a 2E and then on beat 3, that hi-hat rhythm changes to quavers or 8th notes, alright? So you've got 3 and then on the 4th beat, you've got a crotchet or a quarter note on the snare drum. So your rhythm, your top rhythm of this groove is 1E and a 2E and a 3 and 4. And you've got hi-hats for 1, 2 and the 3 and then you come down to the snare with the right hand on 4. So the sticking's going to be right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right. All right, so the right left's going to come down. The right hand's going to come down to the snare drum. All right, and then underneath that, you've got your bass drum, 4 on the floor again. So just keeping time hitting all those downbeats. So let's try that second bar 4 times through to get used to that rhythm. So now we've got a change in rhythm. We've got semi-quavers, semi-quavers, quavers, crotchet. So all hi-hats apart from the last note on the snare drum. So let's try that second bar 4 times through. And now we'll try both bars, so bars 9 and 10, so that 2-bar groove of the chorus. Alright, so remember the first bar, we got hi-hats with our 2 hands, keeping that 4 on the floor. Second bar, 4 on the floor stays, and we've got hi-hats, change rhythm on the 3, drop to the snare on the 4. Alright, so let's try both of them bars 9 and 10, 4 times through. So if we look at the sheet music, we can see after those 2 bars of groove, we've got a 2-bar repeat symbol there. So that means repeat the previous 2 bars. All right, so we play that 2-bar groove again. And then if we go down to line 4, we've got another 2-bar repeat symbol there at the start of line 4. So that means repeat the previous 2 bars, which is repeating the previous 2 bars, which is our groove again, all right? So we're playing that 2-bar groove 3 times. And then it changes up a little bit now. So we've got in the 3rd bar of line 4, we've got semi-quavers on the 1, 2 and the 3, and then we've just got a crotchet on the 4, alright, or 16th notes and then a quarter note on the 4. So we've got 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4 on the hi-hat, and we still got our 4 on the floor on the bass drum, and then we've got a 1-bar fill on the snare drum. So if we look at the snare drum fill, the rhythm is 1, 2, 3 and 40 and. So you've got crotchet, crotchet, quavers, and then 2 semi-quavers and a quaver. So we're going to have right, 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 left, right, left, right for our sticking pattern. Or you can play right, left, right, left, right, left, right. Either's okay, all right? So if we say that rhythm in the American names, we've got quarter note, 2 8th notes, and then 2 16th notes and an 8th note. All right, so we got 1, 2, 3 and 40 and. So let's just give that snare fill a try first, 4 times through, just to get that rhythm down, making sure you're hitting it nice and in time. So now we'll try putting in the bar before as well. So you've got your semiquavers on the hi-hat for the 1, 2 and the 3, and then your crotchet on the 4, whilst keeping that quarter note time on the bass drum. So when we put these two bars together, so again you've got that 4 on the floor on the bass drum for the first bar where you're playing on the hi-hat, and then when you come off on the snare for the fill, you have to stop that 4 on the floor rhythm. Alright, so because it's a continuous rhythm, your right foot might kind of get used to just playing it automatically. Alright, so this is where it's difficult when we play the fills and that 4 on the floor rhythm comes out. You've really got to make sure you're aware of that, because you might just be playing it, like I said, automatically without even realising you are. Alright, so let's try these two bars together. So bars 15 and 16, just making sure we keep the 4 on the floor when we're playing on the hi-hat, and then we take it out when we play that snare fill. So let's try those two bars 4 times through. And then again at the end of that line we can see a double bar line, so that's the end of another musical section, which was the chorus. So we've played our whole chorus now, so we're going to put it all together. So you've got a 2-bar groove there, we repeat the 2-bar groove, we repeat the 2-bar groove again, and then we've got a little 2-bar change up again, so where our hi-hat rhythm changes a bit, where we're playing a crotchet or a quarter note on the 4, and then we've got our 1-bar snare rhythm. So let's try the whole chorus now in time with the metronome. So now we've got a whole verse and chorus, so we're going to put those two parts together. So we come in with our quaver groove, 4 on the floor, we've got 2 change ups, we've got a triple snare hit on the 4th bar, and then we've got a 2-beat fill on the next 4th bar. Then we've got a 2-bar groove that we repeat twice, and then we've got a little change up again and a 1-bar fill to finish the chorus. Alright, so let's try both sections in time with the metronome. Just make sure we get those transitions from each part, okay? The verse into the chorus, making sure, yeah, nice changes from each part. So now we'll try the verse and chorus in time with a backing track, okay? So the fun bit, putting it to the music. Alright, so remember you've got a 2-bar count in, so you'll hear 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. So make sure when you hear that count in, you're really internalizing it, because obviously that's the tempo that you're going to be playing. Alright, so make sure you feel the tempo, so when you start playing, you come in at the right tempo from the first beat. Alright? You don't want to come in too quick and then have to slow down, or come in too slow and have to speed up. You want to make sure you're hearing that tempo, so you come in at the right tempo straight away. Okay, remember you're at forte, so keep the groove nice and strong. Make sure it sounds forte, so remember it's loud. And then just make sure those transitions from the verse into the chorus are nice and smooth, alright? And you're really fitting in with the other instruments. So remember, concentrate on your part, but also listen out and make sure you're blending in well into the music. Alright, so let's try both of those sections in time with the backing track now.
I backed my car into a cop car the other day. Well, he just drove off, sometimes life's okay. I ran my mouth off a bit too much, or what did I say? Well, you just laughed it off and it was all okay. And we'll all float on 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 anyway. Well, a fake Jamaican.
So at line 5 we start a new verse. So we've got verse written there above the first bar of the line. And we've got the same 4 on the floor groove that we had in the first verse. And again we've got 2 1-bar repeats. So we're playing the groove for 3 bars. We've got another 4th bar change up here. So we still got our 4 on the floor. So our 4 beats on the bass drum hitting the downbeats. We've still got our quavers on the hi-hat. And we've got a backbeat on 2 on the snare. And then we've got a double snare hit on the and, the 3 and the 4. Okay, so very similar to the 4th bar of the top line. But where the 4th bar on the top line had a triple snare hit, in this bar we've just got a double snare hit. Okay, so we're going to get used to hitting this bar in time with the metronome. So we'll play it 4 times through, just getting used to hitting that 2, the and, the 3 and the 4. Right, so you've got your normal backbeat on 2 and then your double snare hit on the and, the 3 and the 4. So let's try this bar now 4 times through with the metronome. Okay, so now let's try the whole of line 5. So you've got 3 bars of your 4 on the floor groove and then your 1-bar change up hitting that double snare hit on the and, the 3 and the 4. So now we come into the bottom line of the first page, so the second line of the second verse. We've got the same 4 on the floor groove. Again, we've got 2 1-bar repeats, so we're playing that 4 on the floor groove for 3 bars. And then we've got a 1-bar fill in the last bar of the first page. And the rhythm is 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4. So we've got semi-quavers, 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 then a crotchet, or the American names 16th notes, 16th notes, 16th notes, quarter note. Alright, so we're going to play this right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right. And where we're playing it, so the orchestration of this fill, we've got the first beat on the small tom, so all 4 notes on the small tom, right, left. Then we move to the medium tom for the second beat, right, left on the medium tom. And then we come down to the floor tom, right, left for the third beat of 16th notes. And then we're going to finish with a quarter note on the floor tom with the right hand. So you've got right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right. Okay, so let's just try just that fill 4 times through with a metronome. And now we'll try the whole of the bottom line of the first page. Okay, so bars 21, 22, 23 and 24. So we've got 3 bars of our 4 on the floor groove, and then we've got our 1-bar fill around the toms. Okay, so remember you've got that 4 on the floor again for the groove, and we need to make sure we take it out when we play the fill. Okay, so remember what we said before, you might find your foot sort of automatically keeps going. So just make sure you're aware that that's stopping when you play the fill on the toms. Alright, so let's try the whole of the bottom line. So line 6 in time with the metronome. So now we'll try the whole of verse 2, so lines 5 and 6 of the first page. Alright, so let's try putting that all together. So we've got our 4 on the floor groove, first 4th bar change up with the double snare hit, back to our 4 on the floor groove, and then we've got our 4th bar change up on the fill round the tom. So let's try putting both lines together. So then we come onto the second page where we come onto another chorus. You can see chorus there written above the first bar of the second page. So we're into a second chorus and we've got the same 2-bar groove that we played in the first chorus. Alright, and then we've got a 2-bar repeat there. So we'll play that 2-bar groove again. So if we come into the next line, our next 2 bars there are slightly different. So all we're doing is adding a crash on the 1 of the first bar. So we play that crash for a crotchet or a quarter note. So we're going to hold that for a whole beat. So that's the only difference there. So let's try those 2 bars in time with the metronome, just crashing in on the 1 of the first bar. And obviously the second bar is just the same as the 2-bar groove we played before. Alright, so let's try putting those 2 bars together. So bars 29 and 30, and we'll try them 4 times through. So if we look at the next 2 bars of the chorus, so bar 31, which is the last bar on line 2 of the second page, and bar 32, which is the first bar of line 3 on the second page. So for the first of those bars, you play the same thing you did in the first bar of the chorus groove. So just semi-quavers or 16 notes on the hi-hat, and then your 4 on the floor rhythm on the bass drum. So looking at bar 32, you've got a fill there. So you've got a crotchet or a quarter note on the hi-hat for the first beat. And then for beats 2, 3 and 4, you've got the rhythm of 2 semi-quavers and a quaver, or 2 16th notes and an 8th note. So those 3 beats are going to be counted 2E and, 3E and, 4E and. And you're going to play that right, left, right, right, left, right, right, left, right. And you're going to go through all 3 toms. So you're going to play small tom for the second beat, medium tom for the third beat, floor tom for the 4th beat. So all 4 beats together, you got the hi-hat crotchet, and then you got 2E and on small tom, 3E and on medium tom, 4E and on the floor tom. Alright, so you play that whilst keeping the 4 on the floor on the bass drum. So for this fill, that rhythm's going to stay. Alright, so if we put those 2 bars together, so bars 31 and 32, you've got 4 on the floor for both bars. First bar, top rhythm is just all semi-quavers on the hi-hat, and then the second bar you've got your crotchet on the hi-hat, and then your 2 semi-quavers and a quaver rhythm around the toms. So let's try those 2 bars 4 times through. So at the end of that fill, you can see a double bar line there, which means it's the end of a musical section. So that is the end of the chorus really, and the next set of bars are like an extended chorus. So we've got 8 bars of a chorus there that we're going to put together. So we're going to try all 8 bars now in time with the metronome. So now we come into the last section of the song. So like I said, this is like an extended part of the chorus. So you can see the first bar of the extended part of the chorus, which is bar 33, which is the second bar of line 3 of the second page. We've got our 4 on the floor groove, all right, our original one that we played at the start of the song in the verse. We've got 2 1-bar repeats there, so we play that groove for 3 bars, and then we've got our double snare hit groove again in the last bar of that line, all right, that we played on line 5 of the first page. So those 4 bars are the same as line 5 of the first page. So looking at the bottom line of the song, we've got the same 4 on the floor groove there. We've got another 2 1-bar repeats, so we play it for 3 bars again, and then we've got a fill. So we've got a 1-bar fill, we've got semiquavers on the 1, semiquavers on the 2, semiquavers on the 3, and a crotchet on the 4. So we count that rhythm: 1 E ender, 2 E ender, 3 E ender, 4. We're playing that on the toms again. So we've got 1 E ender on the small tom, 2 E ender on the medium tom, 3 E ender on the floor tom, and then the 4 on the floor tom as well. So we're going to play right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right. So let's just try just that fill 4 times through with the metronome. So now we'll try the whole of the extended chorus section. So we're going to play from the double bar line on line 3 of page 2. So that's bar 2 of line 3. So you've got your 4 on the floor groove there. You play that for 3 bars, and then you've got your double snare hit groove. And then we come into the last line where we've got our 4 on the floor groove again for 3 bars. And then we play a 1-bar fill. So for this fill, the 4 on the floor rhythm comes out again. So remember to take the bass drum out of that fill, and then we're going to finish with a crotchet on the crash in the last bar, which is played with the bass drum. And you can see that's the last bar as we've got our final bar line there to tell you it's the end of the piece. Okay, so let's try those final 9 bars. All right, so let's put that together with the metronome. So now we'll try the whole of the second chorus, all right? So the whole of the second page. So you've got your normal 8 bars of the chorus and then the extended chorus as well. So we're going to put that all together now in time with the metronome. Just make sure we've got nice transitions from the 2 parts, all right? Because obviously you've got that the semi-quaver section of the first 8 bars, and then obviously you come into your quavers in the extended part of the chorus. So let's try putting those 2 parts together now in time with the metronome. And now we'll try the second verse and the second chorus. So we're going to go back to line 5 of the first page. We're going to play from that second verse, play through lines 5 and 6, and then the whole of the second page. Right, so you've got 4 lines on the second page as well. So we're going to put those 2 parts together, make sure we can transition from those sections. Okay, so we'll try that first of all with the metronome. And now we'll try the second verse and the second chorus in time with the backing track.
And we'll all float on anyway. Well, a fake Jamaican tipped every last dime with that scam. But it was worth it just to learn some sleight of hand. Bad news comes, don't you worry, even when it lands. The good news will work its way to all them plans. And we'll all float on okay. And we'll all float on okay. And we'll all float on okay. And we'll all float on alright. Already we'll all float on now. Don't you worry, we'll all float on alright. Already we'll all float on now. Don't you worry, we'll all float on alright.
So now we can play all the sections of the song. We're going to play the whole piece in time with the backing track. Okay, so remember you've got your 2-bar count in to start you off, and then you come in with the 4 on the floor groove at forte. And that's the dynamic for the whole piece, okay? So we stay at forte for the whole song. So make sure you don't drop your level or pick it up. You stay at loud for the whole piece, okay? And remember, you want those nice transitions from each section as well, so from verse to chorus. So for each verse, you've got a quaver 4 on the floor groove, and for the chorus, you've got the semi-quaver 4 on the floor groove, all right? So make sure you get nice transitions into those two grooves. For the fills where the 4 on the floor rhythm comes out, remember to bring it out, all right? So remember, because it goes a lot for the groove, it's going to want to go automatically into the fills. So make sure where there's no 4 on the floor rhythm in the fills, remember to take out that 4 on the floor rhythm on the bass drum. The technical focus elements for this piece, so what you'll be examined in if you take the exam, is the first element is the double snare hits. So in bar 4, you had that triple snare hit on the and of 3, the 4 and the 4. You want to feel that as a single hit on the and of 3 and then your double snare hits on the 4 and the and of 4, okay? So on the last 2 quavers of the bar. And in bars 20 and bar 36, you've got the double snare hit on the and of 3 and the 4. Okay, so we want to hear that difference between bar 4 and bar 20 and 36. Alright, so bar 4, like I said, the double snare hits at the end of the bar, so on the 4 and the and of 4, and in bars 20 and bars 36, the double snare hits on the and of 3 and the 4. Okay, so there's a quaver difference between those bars. Alright, so that's the first element. The second element is the semi-quavers. So when you play the semi-quaver rhythms in the choruses, you want to make sure they're lining up nice and evenly with your 4 on the floor rhythm on the bass drum. Okay, so just make sure your subdivisions are really tidy in those sections. And that's the 2 elements for the technical focus parts of this song. Alright, so make sure you work on that as you practice this piece. So let's try the entire song now in time with the backing track.
I backed my car into a cop car the other day. Well, he just drove off, sometimes life's okay. I ran my mouth off a bit too much, oh what did I say? Well, you just laughed it off and it was all okay. And we'll all float on okay. And we'll all float on okay.
Okay, so a really fun song to play, so I hope you enjoy playing that. And remember, with all of these parts, we practice them at song tempo, but that's the target tempo for each of these parts, all right? So when you practice these through, make sure you bring the rhythm down, all right? So really reduce it to a comfortable rhythm for yourself to really get to know the parts and work on that coordination, independence, the groove, the fills, and all the elements of playing this piece, all right? So make sure you always start a comfortable tempo, and then you just bring that up as gradually as you like, all right? So as you get comfortable with a slow tempo, bring it up a little bit, and when you hit that target tempo of the song tempo, which for this song is 95 beats per minute, and you're comfortable there, that's when you want to start putting it to the track, all right? So don't rush yourself. Make sure you put in the time at those comfortable tempos, because that's going to be the tempos where you actually improve as a drummer, all right? So spend time there, and don't rush to get to song tempo just because you're excited to play with the music, all right? Because what you don't want is it sounding not good. So spend some time making it sound good, and then obviously you're gonna be a much better sounding drummer, and that's what we want, all right? So remember that when you practice. Have fun, and we'll see you in the next lesson.